Shalom, family trendsetter. Taking a break, so I decided I was going to come on here and rap with y'all a little bit. Now, I want y'all to understand something. Now, when I come on here with my perception of my reality, because your perception is your reality, I'm not here to convince anyone that my perception is the end all, say all, the say all, end all. You know what I'm saying? My perception of how I view the world, the so-called white man, religion, is the correct way for you to view it. Each of us have to have our own understanding. All right. So let me give y'all a quick story. Now, I have a twin brother. He's incarcerated, right? And right now he's a pastor. He just became ordained to be a pastor. And you know, when they go to jail and shit, they always find religion. Either become Muslim or become Christians, right? But it is what it is. Whatever belief they want to hold on to, that's going to make them comfortable, or, you know, throughout their stay, you know, it is what it is. I support it. But anyway, I remember, but in 2010, that's when I decided to give up Facebook, right? But before then, I had a YouTube channel, and my subscriber was actually a lot bigger than what it is today, because back then I wasn't hardcore. Then as I began to find out who I am as a people, you know what I'm saying, realize that the Bible that was given to us is actually a slave book. Okay? Now, don't get me wrong. I do subscribe to the Bible. I do understand the Old Testament, what it's about. You know what I'm saying? I do understand that these devils have translated that book and have made it to fit their narrative. But with discernment, you can read between the line and you can understand exactly what the Most High is trying to present to you. Okay, because the Bible is our book. It's a history book of the black Hebrew Israelite. Not the white man, not the Gentile, not the heathen, the so-called black people. But because they had the opportunity to get a hold of our documents, they was able to rewrite history. Just like how they saying now the so-called Egyptian were white. What's her name? Cleopatra, she was white. You know, all this shit. So they able to spin the narrative and whitewash history. You know what the Bible said. They shall seek to paint their image, you know what I'm saying, paraphrasing. So back then I had Facebook, and I was doing well with Facebook as well, because Facebook, when you have friends on Facebook, you can actually let them know you have a YouTube channel, and therefore they can, you know, subscribe to your shit, and your shit can grow. And back then I was very popular, you know what I'm saying? I was in the game, let's put it that way. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knew me, and everybody was, you know, like to deal with me and befriend me. So I had a lot of following on Facebook, and then I was like, look, I got a YouTube channel. I want y'all to subscribe. But once again, as I became familiar with who I am, I started to, you know, talk a little bit different than what I was talking to when I first signed up on YouTube. So therefore, now they start to monitor my shit. And then as I realize who I am and who my oppressors are, my enemy, my real enemy is, I start to get angry. Y'all know the face, family. You know, when you first find out who you are as a person, as a Hebrew, you get angry to realize that all along these devils was lying to us about who we are, and you start to do research. Excuse me, I got a peppermint in my mouth. I got a little bit of cold, so excuse me. You start to realize who you are as a people, and then you start to realize what they have, you know, what they did to us and our ancestors, and put crack in our community, you know, AIDS, and just literally destroy the black family, took the black man out of the home, and incarcerate him, and who they couldn't incarcerate, they turned him into homosexual, or who they couldn't turn into homosexual, they gunned them down unarmed. And you had these black mothers had to raise their kids by themselves. So that shit make you angry. So as I became to be angry and shit, I started to talk like I'm talking today. So what they did, they started to like flag my shit, you know, and back then it wasn't as severe. Now they'll flag this shit for anything. But back then you could get away with some stuff. But then because these white people was hearing something new for the first time, remember this, we're talking about 2010. So they starting to hear something new for the first time. They didn't want to believe that we're the chosen people. They thought we were some kind of radical black, you know, black groups or whatever. So they start, you know, flagging my shit, and, you know, just it was like a campaign against me. Eventually they closed me down. They shut me down. So I remember when I was shut down, and then the Most High said, okay, you know, I want you to reopen up another page with a different name. And I'm like, nah, because they're going to probably get it from my, you know, my email or whatever, and know it's me. And I would just say, I'm not going to do it. But the Most High said, just go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who it was, but somebody told me to go ahead and do it spiritually. So I did it. And I remember when I hit 90 subscribers, I got real excited. And it was weird because I had way more than, I think I had like 21 or 21.5 or 21.49 subscribers on my older channel. And then when I got like 90 subscribers, I'm like, wait a minute, I got excited and shit. I'm like, yo, my shit is growing. I guess they stopped censoring me, you know what I'm saying? They lift whatever block they had on me. And I was excited because I'm like, now I'm able to go ahead and bring forth the information that I was getting. Because throughout that time, I was gaining a lot of information. I said, I got to share this shit. And I didn't have Facebook anymore because I decided I'm going to close Facebook down because I started to research that Facebook was actually a government entity, you know what I'm saying? Facebook. And now you got Instagram. So if you put it together, FBI, Facebook, and Instagram is FBI. And that's when I realized that Facebook was acquired by the government from Mark Zuckerberg. I'm saying Mark Zuckerberg don't own this shit no more. And I realized they was acting for profiling. They're acting for where you used to go to school and where you used to work. And, you know, everybody giving away their life information for free. The FBI didn't have to do anything. The government had to do anything to get you in shit. You was just volunteering shit because we're so gullible. We want to be like, we want to show off. Then you got idiots on there showing stacks of cash and drugs and guns, and they was just getting caught. And I was like, nah, this shit is a suspect. So I shut down Facebook. So what happened was, you know, when I was gaining subscribers, I was getting excited. And I remember saying, when I hit 200 subscribers, that's when it's official that I'm back on board. I'm going to give away $100. And for those of you who've been with me for a minute, y'all already know. Y'all remember when I first came on, I had one subscriber. She was like, I haven't heard from her in a while. I hope she's okay. I think her name is Summer Rain. You know what I'm saying? She actually contributed to my channel. She was just great. She was awesome. And I'm not saying the ones that I have now and awesome. I'm talking about back then. Because now that I have some loyal subscribers, some people that might disagree with some of the shit that I say, but they still loyal to me. I love y'all and respect y'all. I'm not just saying that just to say it. I really do love y'all. I would die for y'all, family. For real, for real. You know what I'm saying? That's how strongly I feel about y'all. So I remember hitting 200 subscribers, right? And I got real excited. I said, okay, I'm going to give away $100. And I don't remember I think the question was, what was my last video or whatever? And somebody won it, right? And I gave away the $100 to that person. And it wasn't because I was like, you know, like, oh my God, you know, I got 200 subscribers. It was because I was so excited to know that finally the Most High gave me another opportunity to come on here to share the information that I have. You know what I'm saying? And YouTube wasn't really blocking me anymore. That's what I guess. And I didn't realize that you could create other fucking YouTube name and then you ask me back on board. I didn't know that. But back then I thought that once you was blocked, you was blocked. You know what I'm saying? Go by your algorithm or your area code or whatever. So I was excited. Now, fast forward to today, they still censoring my shit. My subscribers is very low. It ain't what it used to be. But at the end of the day, I got real subscribers. You know what I'm saying? I got the real deal with me right now. Everybody. Matter of fact, I know y'all by name. You know what I'm saying? When I don't see y'all comment on my shit, I'm like, I hope they all right. That's the first thing I think about. I hope they all right. Because some of y'all are just so predictable. You know, I'm like, okay, I know if I say some shit like this, somebody gonna comment and correct me. And I like that. I welcome that shit. I love that shit because it shows that, you know, y'all guys are really listening to what I'm saying. It's not for entertainment purpose. It's for edifying. You edify me. A lot of time my subscribers come on me and they'll give me scriptures, some scriptures I have never even read. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I go and I read it. I say, okay, you know, expound a little bit upon it. So I welcome y'all to, you know, to correct me. Please do. Because I don't know everything. Everything that I'm talking about, I can tell you one thing. I do know who the fucking white man is, though. I can tell you that shit. Y'all can't correct me on that shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can correct me on the scriptures in the Bible, in the New Testament, the Old Testament. But you cannot correct me on the white man. Because I work amongst them. I've seen some shit that I shouldn't see. Who they really are behind the scene. Peel away that motherfucking mask. Trust me. So you can't tell me nothing about these devils. Not all of them, but most of them. So, my brother. Right? My twin brother, he became a pastor. I know I strayed off of that topic. I know y'all wanted to hear about my brother. So my brother, he became a pastor in jail. And let me tell you how religion has literally divide and conquer us. Now, when I got into the truth, you know, like I said, you go through the phase, you know, you realize who you are and shit. You start to realize what these devils did to you and you start to hate them and, you know, have not really hate them, but have a hatred towards them for what they have done. And you can't really decide who is wicked from who's not because they all look alike. You know what I'm saying? So then, me and my brother, we start going at it. And he's telling me, oh, Jesus is his name. And so I said, okay, do you know that the letter J wasn't, you know, you give them that same shit everybody learned and shit. Well, you know, the letter J was invented 500 years. You know, everybody know that shit. So you throw that shit out there. And he like, what are you talking about? I said, yeah, the letter J was only invented like 500 years ago by a monk, was experimenting with the letter I. And he was like, what do you mean? I said, yeah. I said, research it. And my brother, he's like me. He do the same thing I do. He go behind me. He do fact checks and shit. So I said, all right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you two things to think about. The letter J, Jesus Christ, the Messiah name wasn't Jesus, right? And you guys are getting baptized in another deity name. And I said, research the letter J. And the letter J, actually, Jesus actually means earth pig in Latin. And I said, I want you to do your research on that. So like about a month went by and shit. He ain't say nothing to me about it. And he finally, a month later, he came to me and he said, okay, you're right. His name, it wasn't Jesus. His name was Yeshua. Right. So I said, okay, so what name did you get baptized in? He said, Jesus. So I said, okay, well, I don't know. You're going to get baptized over, because whoever name you got baptized, it wasn't the Most High's Son, according to the New Testament. So what I had to do, family, I had to start from basic, you know what I'm saying? Eventually I graduated. So then I was telling him that, you know, Sunday worship is a pagan day to be worshiping on. You worshiping the sun on that day. And of course, I had to let him do some more research and shit until he found out. Yes, I said, it's clearly in the Bible. Ain't you a Christian? Ain't you a pastor? Doesn't it say? Then he telling me, oh, the Lord's done away with and blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, well, let me ask you a question. When your Jesus came, right, to the Lord chief of the house of Yasharal, the house of Israel, and didn't he observe the Sabbath? Didn't he say he's not going to do it? He didn't come to do away the Sabbath, to fulfill the Sabbath. What does fulfill mean? And then he said, not to one jot or tittle or whatever, you know, should be taken away from the law until heaven and earth pass away. And when I brought that to his attention, he knew the shit makes sense. But, you know, because these Christians are hard-headed. So he challenged me on it for a minute, and then maybe about a week or so, he came around and said, yeah, you're right. You know, I'm going to change my service from Sunday to Saturday. A lot of my brothers ain't going to understand, but I'm the pastor. I'm going to explain to them and blah, 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 blah. And he told me, he said, when he changed that date from the Sunday to Saturday, he lost a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? He lost a lot of, what they call them? People. You know what I'm saying? That attend his church in jail. So I said, that's what it is. The Bible say, you know, you're going to be hated for my name's sake. And y'all think it's Jesus Christ's name. No, everybody love you when you say you're a Christian. I said, when you start serving the Most High, the one true God, and this is where we had the fallout. Because I'm telling him I don't believe in the New Testament. And I said to him, okay, how is it I was able to prove 2 or 3 things in the Bible that you should have known because you're a pastor, and then come to find out you now going along with me? How is it that I was able to prove 3 things in the Bible? How you know what I'm saying continuing is not true? Because I already proved to you that Jesus wasn't his name. I already proved to you that the Sabbath is supposed to be observed. You know what I'm saying? So what if I was to tell you that Jesus never existed? Or if he did, it wasn't our savior to begin with. So then I start giving him scriptures and shit. I start, you know, showing him correlation between Lucifer and Jesus. Lucifer's the day star. Jesus is the bright and morning star. Jesus telling you to hate and shit. I asked him, I said, do Jesus hate? He said, no, Jesus love everybody. God love everybody, because he said Jesus is God. And then, oh yeah, that's one of the things. So I said, okay, how is Jesus God if they crucify him on a cross? That means they was able to kill God. And then who was in heaven while he was on the cross? And didn't Acts 5:30 say he was hung on a tree? And I was just going through the whole, you know, the whole spiel. So bottom line, family, it got to the point now, me and him now, we don't really talk as much because he's still bent on this New Testament savior. He's saying that I'm an antichrist. And I said, you're damn right. And I said, you got to understand, they put that shit in the New Testament talking about antichrist and there's going to be a falling away and you know, so to scare us, so into not to turning away from Christianity, not for us to defy this Jesus character, because we feel if we start to talk against him, we're going to become an antichrist and the Most High is going to deal with us. That's what they have done. They are very skillful. And then I went as far to tell them, you know, when a nation conquer another nation, do they still use the nation conquered religion and government, or do they bring forth their own government and institution? And he was like, so I said, okay then. So think about it. The same way how they gave us this religion called Christianity, they gave us that image that they paint to their likeness. I understand in Revelation 1:14 it says he was black according to the description, but they're smart. They know he's going to wake up to today and say, okay, he wasn't white. You know what I'm saying? He's actually black. So now we still going to gravitate to their idol. So the bottom line, family, what I'm trying to say in closing, because I don't want to go too much over because I won't be able to upload this shit, is that you have to draw your own conclusion. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? We have to stand before the Most High individually and give an account to us for our sins. So I'm not going to tell you what to believe. You just have to do a lot of research and study yourself to be approved. And with that, I say shalom.